Yo, 4P by the way, you clap. What's up, gamer?
This movie was not good.
See you guys next week.
Subscribe.
But it was like it wasn't even good in ways
just-
that are like
hold on.
interesting.
We have to
I gotta do
introduce
the
the, we have to do the intro. I mean, this is all being kept in, but
What's up, guys? Welcome to the pod. We're the hit players. That's James over there. That's Connor. I'm
Sup?
Isaac. We are here. A little bit inebriated.
James is fine. I'm feeling it. Isaac's feeling it.
We just watched the world-renowned feature film directed by Eli Roth, who I didn't even know.
I'm shocked you didn't know that he directed this.
No. I actively blocked any news from this movie
Yeah.
from my brain anytime I saw it.
Oh, I'm so happy.
We just watched Borderlands, the movie, and at the request of Connor, because you know what, we sometimes torture Connor with having him watch actual good pieces of literature. So we were, or not literature, media. So we were like, you know what, let's
Indulge him.
one for you, one for us.
Yeah,
right?
It
a
was
common Hollywood thing.
this movie came out, and I was like, it's gonna be bad. Before it even came out, I knew it was gonna be bad, right?
Yeah.
We all knew it was gonna be bad.
I mean, I could have said that from the directed by Eli Roth.
Yeah, everybody knew it was gonna be bad, right? And then it came out, and the reviews were like ultra mega bad. They're worse than Final.
they're bad.
They're worse than Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, which is like one of the worst game movies of all time.
They're bad.
So the reviews looked awful, and I was like, guys, we've been talking about doing a drunk pod. We've been talking about getting
Yeah.
us drunk,
Yeah.
getting me and Isaac drunk, and just
Yeah.
lamenting about something.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the perfect case, because we'll want to drink during the movie.
Yeah.
Which we wanted to drink during that. Got James drinking, which he never drinks. So it was just perfect time to indulge in some bevs and some lighthearted humor as we watched easily one of the worst films I think all three of us have ever seen in our lives.
Here is a good snapshot of how bad this movie is. James, for better or worse, when we watch movies together, he is very big on, which I agree with. I do definitely agree with this. He is big on don't talk and don't use your phones while watching anything.
Mhm.
After the 10-minute mark, I looked over at you guys, and James was on his phone.
Yeah.
And every 5 minutes I looked, James was still on his phone. And that is the only review that you need from me about the level of this movie.
I didn't know anything about this movie going in. I was like you. I avoided all information.
Yeah.
So I was mostly reading through the Wikipedia page while watching this to try to learn about it, to learn things to talk about. Because I
Afterwards.
never played the games.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't have anything
Yeah.
I didn't have any frame of reference.
You weren't
to go into.
outraged like I was the entire film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the game, and I had no idea what was going on.
So I was just trying to get the frame of reference.
Yeah.
Is all it was.
No, I'm not chastising you for it.
Well, yeah.
I just think it's funny.
We just think it's funny.
No, that's understandable.
It's a good
No,
bit.
this movie was not. It was bad, but it was bad in ways that just weren't interesting.
It wasn't a good
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
at all.
No.
There was no we made the joke that if Robert Rodriguez had made this movie, we would be praising it
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
all of the pitfalls it
But
had.
some movies are so bad they're good.
Yeah.
This movie was just not.
Like Room,
Compelling.
or The Room.
Yeah, like The Room, right?
Yeah.
Or Birdemic or whatever.
Yeah.
Sharknado.
Yeah,
This movie was just not compelling.
yeah,
There are flaws in regards to, I think, every department of this film.
Yeah.
From the script to the acting to the directing to the editing to. Did you hear
Visual
any
effects.
music other than Ace of Spades?
No,
by Motorhead?
there was no music other than Ace of Spades. The
special
costume design
effects.
was fucking abysmal.
Well,
Yeah.
Connor has played
I
the
know.
games. He
Yeah.
has a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
thoughts about
yeah.
that.
I'm the resident
Yeah.
expert.
Yeah.
Once again,
yeah. You play more games than me.
James does books. You do movies. I do video games. We have a good trifecta here.
I do I don't even think I do movies at this point.
James does books and movies. You do a pretty face. I do video games. We're a good
Yeah, that's
trifecta
fair.
here.
I don't want to do movies
I'm the
anymore after
voice of
this.
reason. When you guys are like go too far into like just grabbing references out of nowhere and like
When James and I are waxing
Alluding-
philosophical
yeah,
about something,
you guys are alluding to deep stuff that nobody actually pays attention to, I'm like, all right, my friend.
I don't do that.
when James and I are pulling out like why Kill la Kill as a commentary on like
Yeah, when you guys started
But it is,
alluding to
though.
like
it is, but it's just like nobody knows that.
when you guys started alluding to like French novels written in 1860, I'm like, all right, let's talk about something that's actually relevant.
Bring
No,
up great
we could do
expectations. Like
a-
nobody has to read that anymore.
Emil Zola.
Anyways, yeah, no, this movie is like a bad wrestler. If you're not getting any kind of reaction, that's bad.
Mhm.
As you said so eloquently, it's like if I'm gonna watch you, at least make it entertaining to
Yeah.
watch you, whether bad or good. And this movie had neither of it.
Yeah, it was just kind of pathetic.
There was
Yeah.
no redeeming quality about
was
this movie
nothing.
at all.
I think also the worst indicator was we had a light drinking game going into this. You know, make it fun for us, and we
Yeah.
gave up on it halfway through because we were like, I just want to get drunk. Like we're
Yeah.
just, I need to drink more because this movie is just a stain on my existence.
I would not have gotten through this movie sober. I think I would have
No.
literally pointed, like, turned around to you guys and been like, "I'm
You
going
did.
to bed."
You about halfway through, you're like, can we just stop? You're like, can we just not?
But let's still break it down. Let's start with the acting. A lot of people praising Kate Blanchett.
Why?
Which one was Kate Blanchett?
Who are people?
Lilith.
Who are people? I need to have a discussion with those
Like I
people.
said,
I
I
need
just
to-
read the
need to talk.
Wikipedia page.
I need to have a light talk with them.
You didn't think that she did well?
No.
Okay, compared to the video games, or just in a vacuum in the movie?
Okay. All right. You're right. Let me think. Just in a vacuum. In a vacuum.
No.
No. Yeah. The thing is, I didn't look at any of this in a vacuum because it's a video game movie, so I was immediately comparing it to the games, right?
Rookie mistake.
Well, it's what you should be doing if you're adapting something. You should be comparing it to the thing you're adapting. And like everybody was just so.
Off base.
I was gonna say sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
There's at least sometimes with bad performances, you can tell that the actor is phoning it in.
Mm-hmm.
I still got the sense that everyone was putting some effort in,
Yeah.
just like a modicum.
You thought
know?
Jamie Lee Curtis was really putting effort in?
Yeah, I think now there were plenty of reshoots for this,
Uh-huh.
and the lack of any two shots throughout the course of this film, I think, is a great indication that many of those interpersonal dialogue scenes were heavily reshot,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to say like the action scenes. So I feel like maybe having to do so many reshoots probably took some of the energy out of their passion for these characters and these performances. But there are still moments where I feel like Kate Blanchett is trying to be Lilith, and Kevin Hart is trying to be Roland.
I guess.
As
I- like,
much as
I
Kevin Hart is
can-
not an actor, he's
Yeah.
a comedian, and sometimes comedians can be great actors.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
John C. Reilly,
yeah, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
But like Kevin Hart is not that
No.
Yeah.
caliber,
Yeah.
and this was not his character.
Especially because, like, for you both, Roland is a very like serious
Yes.
and like down to earth character. He's not.
Mhm.
He's like one of the few guys that doesn't crack jokes on the regular. So like the fact when they're like Kevin Hart as Roland, I was like, okay, you've just already like completely missed the entirety of this plot in general. Like just I mean, you just completely dropped the ball.
Here's a question: is any actress more overrated than Kate Blanchett?
She's been in great movies.
Such as
I saw Tar last year. Tar was one
Okay.
of my favorite movies.
one movie.
I had to ask James who she was, so I'm not going to comment on this. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy my buzz.
How do you feel about Tina?
Next
Arguably-
question, please.
Okay.
Try not to get
All right.
canceled on this podcast.
So Tiny Tina is a character in the games that requires a certain level of like acceptance as a person. Like you gotta just like look at her and be like, this is who she is. She is a child who has been without parents for a very long time
Yes.
in a very unforgiving world. It makes sense that she's the way that she is.
Right.
The teen in the movie is none of those things. And it points out everything utterly insufferable about Tiny Tina's character, and why some people don't fucking like her.
She's just the girl from Bob's
just a girl.
Burgers.
She's
just a girl.
Yeah, Connor, she's just a girl.
I hate that
Connor.
you brought that up, but you're right. She is just the girl from Bob's Burgers.
She's just a girl.
She's just a girl.
Oh, the one that wears the.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But like Tiny Tina in the game, fantastic character, a lot of depth. Tiny Tina in the movie, more shallow than like Phoenix Rain.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think any game to movie adaptation is as
Like it
wide as like you can't. Like, this is Exhibit A of why every game shouldn't be adapted, because there's just some things that just for whatever reason work better on a game.
Yeah.
And the humor and like this world
Mm-hmm.
just for some reason works better when it's a video game and not a movie. And sure, if like Christopher Nolan did the Borderlands, or I even made the joke like, what about if Michael Mann did it? But those kind of guys don't make these kind of movies.
No.
So it's kind of
'Cause
like
they know
that's a
better.
moot point. Yeah. So it's like it just doesn't make sense to make a movie about the Borderlands.
And like it's one of those things where like even if like you just follow like the original plot of the game, you take away the silly humor,
Yeah.
take away like
Yeah.
the goofiness of it, and you just follow the plot. You could write an interesting story about you know, like oppression.
Could you?
Well, yeah, because like the entire plot of these games is just like oppression rising up against capitalism,
Just
that
go
kind
watch.
of thing.
Just go watch Endor.
Just go watch the Joker.
Yeah, but I'm like, so you
Just
could
go
write
watch
it, like
Joker Folie à Deux.
Yeah.
now, like imagine if Joker had a bunch of really cool guns.
But the problem is we didn't get any cool guns.
I know they missed every part of this film.
Just go watch John Wick if you want
Like-
to see cool guns.
So
Alright.
it's just like, ugh.
How about Jack Black? The one character who I think consistently made you guys laugh.
Jack Black was the only decent part of this film, and that's saying a lot. That's,
Yeah, Jack Black isn't the same as he used to be.
No, he's not. Because he was, for anybody who doesn't know, he was Claptrap, which if you know the games, you know that's big shoes to fill.
Was that
literally.
performance
No.
game accurate?
No.
No?
No.
Really?
Not even close. I don't know why they didn't just get the voice actor for
Yes.
Claptrap in.
Yeah.
Because Claptrap has a very like unique voice,
Distinct
and he
voice.
does the guy who does the voice for Claptrap has very good delivery on his voice. But for just bringing in who the fuck ever, I think they did a great job. Jack Black did the best he could. I think that's really what it was. He's not the man for this role, but they also didn't write the jokes for this role well enough. The delivery could use. He did the best he could.
World-renowned comedic actor or writer Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Guys, isn't it great how like we're full spoilers for this film, by the way, because nobody's gonna watch this. Isn't it great how there was a point where they needed conflict to happen, so Claptrap just shit bullets to make noise?
So I read this during the film while Eli Roth was pitching this film. He, out of like the corner of his eye, saw a dog take a crap, and that image struck him, and so he wrote that scene into the film.
You can't be serious.
I hate
You have
that.
to
I
be
hate
shitting
that
me.
Literally, I had to be shitting you.
Yeah. I'm like, there's no way.
I hate that so much.
I could see it though.
But like in terms of the well, I guess talking about the characters, not so much the plot, but the dialogue itself between them is so. I've never played the games.
Right.
The dialogue feels dated in that way that it feels like both post Marvel, post Rick and Morty, like
Yeah.
thought terminating cliches.
Mm-hmm.
But that's now in 2024. This probably would have seemed like almost edgy back when like the Borderlands games came out. This kind of humor.
Yeah, because like that's kind of like how Borderlands as the games feel. Is that kind of like
Edgy.
dated,
Yeah.
edgy, like
Rock
like-
and roll.
yeah.
You know.
I mean,
Yeah.
like one of the enemy
Literally.
types in the game is called badass.
Yeah.
Like it's a badass psycho or it's a badass skag. Like the whole game prides itself in being like, you know, like, yeah, we're not for kids, yo. Like kind of that stupidity.
Yeah.
Which is where some of the charm comes in. Because you come into it, you're like, okay, this is so over the top on like being this like in your face,
It's
vulgar,
it's
stupid thing.
almost
Like
a satire.
it becomes
of
a satire. Of it.
It's
Yeah.
a satire of the industry at the time.
Yeah. And they just kind of run with it ever since. But like, obviously, it's gotten old.
Yeah, I got woke.
Look at anybody. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on Borderlands 3. So like, if anything, I do have to give them credit because the dialogue did sound a lot like you would find in a Borderlands game.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of those like quips, one-liners, cliche BS. But it was just like it was delivered without any of the fun that the characters in the game seem to have.
doesn't work in a movie.
Yeah, and it doesn't work
Yeah.
in a movie.
A lot of the dialogue looked and sounded ADR. Anyway,
Mhm.
Yeah, 100%.
it didn't help.
No.
There are entire moments where characters deliver like monologues with their backs turned to the camera,
Yep.
or with their mouths clearly not synced up to the words.
Or they
There-
quickly cut back to like a character dropping a cigarette and like
Yeah.
saying the line, and I'm like, what is this? A
There-
fucking college student short film?
There was a shot at the end of the film. I want to say it was Atlas saying something, and his mouth didn't move. Like it was a full
Yeah.
shot, and you can see him, and his mouth doesn't move at all as
I'm
he's
telling
talking.
you,
And I was like,
Connor,
bro,
When I if now that you know what ADR is and looks like, you will notice it in almost
Constantly?
every movie you watch.
I'm sure I will. Well, because like I've noticed it before, I just didn't know what the industry
Yeah.
term for it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was egregiously bad. That and the green screen in this movie was egregiously bad.
The special effects.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Shark. It's like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Spy Kids 3D
Yeah,
levels of bad
With-
without any of the funness that those
without
movies
without the
had.
joy. Like I
Yeah.
think that's what this movie was missing. Is
it was soulless.
it was so like serious, despite the fact that these games are supposed to be unserious
Yeah.
and goofy, and like everything about it just was like everybody was like acting the way everything was shot. It felt like it was supposed to be so like hardcore and serious. But I'm like, it's supposed to be goofy. Like these movies are stupid. Like
Yeah.
these games are stupid as hell.
Well, speaking
Yeah.
more about like special effects and visual effects, I feel like, and as somebody who has never played the games before, but I know what the aesthetic of the
Yeah.
games
Comic book.
look like.
Yeah.
But for a planet that's supposed to be filled with a lot of personality, there's almost no personality
Yep.
to any of the locations. I don't think. Maybe it was when they did the reshoots or while they were in the editing room. There's like no establishing shots
Yeah.
for many of these
There
locations.
was one.
There's almost nothing
There was like two establishing shots when she landed initially, and that was it.
there's really
It's like late stage Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Where it's just all the same colors blending into one
Mhm.
another.
there's no sense of like place to this planet.
Yeah.
It's weird, which I've seen done before in other bad movies
Mhm.
and TV shows, but it's like I don't know. That feels like you should establish where you're. There are moments where like characters like their spatial relationships are never established, and the character will be standing next to somebody in one scene, and then they'll be across the room in the other scene, and there's no sense of time
Passing or anything.
passing or yeah.
My favorite example
Yeah.
of that very very start when Atlas is calling up or is recruiting Lilith. The initial shot that shows where he is has Lilith here and he's to this side of her, right? And then it cuts to her as he's talking and she's looking dead ahead and like replying to him. And I'm like, he's not there. I'm like, we just saw him like way the hell over in that direction.
This stuff is like film 101.
It's like it's how do you like I don't
It's
even know how
it's
to make
only
films, I know
mistakes that happen when you're doing a massive amount of reshoots. Like Suicide Squad
Yeah.
this.
was notorious for having the exact same issues. The Snowman, which was a
The Michael Fassbender
yeah,
movie.
that one was also notorious for having the same issues as well.
It's just like how do you fumble the ball this bad? You know, like
I mean, you just don't care.
You
guess,
just
yeah, that's
end
fair
up
enough.
with a movie that has to get remade
Yeah.
once you've already made it. You know. Now, in terms of the story itself,
What story?
this film has a problem that I don't think we see often in bad films. Typically in bad movies, I think it's a case of them not even really having a plot.
right.
This movie at least has like a beginning, middle, and end.
True.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
there's an
issue
attempt.
is that the closure we receive at the end is for setups or promises that were never set up. Like the closure we're supposed to feel at the end is with Lilith coming to terms with her past and her relationship with her mom.
Yeah.
That is established at the beginning of the third act.
It is hinted at for the entire film, but she never cares up until it's necessary for her to care for the plot to move forward.
Yeah, it has no motivation on her. It
Yeah.
only affects her. It affects her relationship with Jamie Lee Curtis, but that's not why Lilith is there doing this.
Yeah.
You couldn't have just. I don't know. That's the kind.
That's world-renowned screenwriting from our man Eli Roth.
I like how as James explaining things, he's trying to like sound like not like super
Crazy.
aggressive about it, like
He
Isaac and
can't-
I are, and he's like just getting. He's like, I can't.
You can't explain it.
No, it's just bad. It's just bad.
Yeah, and especially because there's like at the actual climax of the film when they find the vault,
Mhm.
there are then 3 red herrings. It's
There really are.
Tina doesn't open the vault. That's one. It's Lilith becomes Dark Phoenix. That's 2.
Shut up.
And then it's there is nothing in the vault.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
3. And it's like literally at the end of the film, the final scene where all of the characters are together, you quite literally feel nothing. No emotional connection to the characters. And that's not even just because you don't know anything about like their past or their backstory. You at least learn that with Lilith. It's that nothing within the characters' lives is shown to motivate them to take this. You have, no understanding of why anybody was in this universe to begin with at this point in time. Which sounds like, saying that out loud, it sounds like it's a very high-minded, like, conceptual critique of this film. But, if somebody was hearing me say this for the first time, that is such the, like, basic requirement of effective storytelling
Yeah.
that you don't realize, like, how often that's done.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm.
Like, to point out that you don't feel any connection with the characters, like that is something that across all media, and especially in like film and television, is so instantaneous and automatic for any character that we're watching that we can sympathize with characters who are like gangsters and serial killers
Yeah.
and murderers.
That's the indicator you wrote a good character is when they are completely terrible person. But you're like, he's my guy.
And then at the end of this film, you're just like, no, I still don't know anything about these people. Like that's actually difficult to do. You actually have to like work pretty hard to not like meet the most basic requirement of storytelling. Because even if you read like a bad book, for example,
You're still like, hey,
you
at least
still get the
has something.
character.
Yeah.
There's always something there.
It's really telling that the character that I found even remotely, and I use the heaviest of air quotes with this, compelling.
Double air quotes.
Yeah, just massive air quotes around the word compelling here, was Krieg, who had no purpose or place in this film, but at least he had a static
Was
character
fun.
throughout, and he was a decent time. Yeah,
None of the characters were fun, which I think is the worst offender. of
again,
this
which
movie.
is ironic considering the entire purpose of the games is to be fun.
I mean, the games, like the cool thing about the games is cool guns, and you're just shooting the shit out of everything that you see.
Yeah,
And like that's fun
yeah.
because you're literally just running around shooting everything you see.
You know what I'm upset about? What I'm really upset about, and I was thinking about this the entire film, and it was pissing me off the further the film went. The game prides itself on its guns, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole shtick. Literally on the back of the cover of all 3 games,
We have a lot of guns.
it talks about how many guns they have.
Yeah.
I think Borderlands 3 had like something like 1 billion combinations or some shit
Mhm.
of guns you could find. It's an absurd number of guns. They showed off 2. They showed off 2 guns. They didn't even explain why Lilith's gun, which is like an exotic, like one of the cool weapons that you can find. That's
Purple.
one of the unique.
It's a purple gun.
Yeah. Which has infinite bullets. It's called the Infinity. It replenishes its own ammo as you fire it. They were just like, oh yeah, it's the Malian Infinity. Nice stuff. Explain it!
It was probably cut.
How do you not have a Malian gun? Because those explode by reloading. Like, you reload and throw them.
Also, for the record, Marcus, best character in all the Borderlands games.
Agreed.
He's in it for like 5 minutes in
Yeah.
this. What the hell?
Where are the grenades? Like, the grenades are some of the coolest things in the
Where
game.
are
Could
the
you throw a
abilities?
grenade at, like, yeah. Well, I mean, phase walk. But, like,
Okay, one ability.
where's Roland's turret?
Yeah, that's literally the coolest part of
Krieg had
Borderlands
his
is-
ability. Krieg's ability is just beating people to death. But, like,
Yeah. Or like the hunter, like having the falcon.
yeah.
That would have been sick.
And I think that's what also pisses me off is they have Borderlands 1 characters, right?
With Borderlands 2 characters.
With Borderlands 2 characters
that they never meet
that
in
don't
the
need to
actual
be
game.
there because they have counterparts in 1 that work. Like,
Yeah.
Krieg could have been Brick.
Is that the one that can dual wield?
No, that's in 2. He's the big beefy dude.
Mm.
His whole shtick in 1 is that he just throws his guns away and he starts beating people to death with his hands.
I love that. I love that for him.
Could have been fine. Could have been that could have been his character. Same concept. They could have had freaking Tina replaced by the actual siren from the first whatever.
So here's this. How do we feel about video game adaptations moving forward?
You mean the thing we talked about last week?
You mean the Minecraft movie?
They're not looking good, bro. They're not looking good.
Not a good look.
We got Last of Us 2 that might be okay. Depends on how they do that. That Last of Us 2 could either be really good or really bad.
It depends if they listen to the Reddit trolls.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Is that they're gonna listen to people who don't understand the games and be like, "We're gonna."
Media literacy all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm worried that Last of Us 2 is gonna suffer from media literacy problems.
Would you guys be willing to rewatch this if they re-released it
Fuck, no.
in
No.
R,
No.
rated R?
No, absolutely not.
Eli
Because-
Roth's original.
No.
Rated R
And
cut.
here's what: because adding blood and gore or more f bombs to this film is not gonna save the fact that it has no plot, it has no good characters, it
Here's a real
has
question.
nothing compelling about it whatsoever.
Here's
What- Answer your question.
well, you were gonna have a follow up. You go. I have a different.
I was going to say the only reason you feel that way is because you're watching essentially a heavily edited version of that. I'm talking about if they came out with like Zack Snyder's director cut, like
Oh, that makes me even want to.
Yeah, wasn't that movie? Wasn't the director cut bad?
Depends on which part of Reddit you ask. The Zack Snyder r/Zack Snyder
yeah.
loves it. Everybody else on Reddit hates it.
And what was your question, Isaac?
James, figure out which side of that conversation James fits on.
What was
What?
your question, Soldier?
Could this movie be made into an actual like good movie?
Yeah, you take Borderlands away from it. Because I think I brought that up. I think halfway through, I was like, "This movie feels like it was a different script for something completely different." And then somebody's like, "Let's slap Borderlands on that," and they had to make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, the Minecraft movie is going to have like the exact same story anyway.
The Minecraft movie is just Jumanji in Minecraft.
Yeah, and like that's
is that
still
what
probably
it
gonna be
is?
better than this piece of shit.
It's definitely not a good look for Jack Black.
What's his last good movie?
What's his last good movie? I haven't seen the Jack Black movie in a very, very long time.
Is it Jumanji?
Probably Super Mario Bros. I liked him as Bowser.
Yeah, actually, he did a
okay.
fantastic job
Yeah,
as Bowser.
that's
Yeah,
good. That's good. He's good in Bowser.
let's say Nacho Libre, but
That was
That's a while ago.
That was the joke.
Might as well just say School of Rock.
Yeah, I
at
was
that
just say
point.
School of Rock too.
that was the joke.
They made a sequel.
Um,
I'm just joking.
School of Rock Pod win.
Would you guys watch a sequel to this?
No.
I'm just asking. dumb
Well, okay,
questions
hold
at
on,
this
hold on.
This makes me. I got these games for free on the Epic Game Store, and this movie makes me want to get a refund off of that.
Borderlands 2 is a lot better than Borderlands 1. So maybe they do the same thing where Borderlands 2 the movie is a lot better than Borderlands 1 the movie.
We were talking about that about which it's not very often
Um,
you see a video game sequel
Yeah.
worse than the first, but you do see that often with the movies.
Um
I wonder if they would have the inverse of this.
and I think that's also one of the things that gets me is that like if you're going to just make a piece of crap movie, right? And you're going to pull characters from all across the franchise just to make something happen. How do you not have the most beloved character of everything, which is Handsome Jack? Everybody and their sister loves Handsome Jack.
Isn't Handsome Jack the bad guy?
That's the point. Why not make? Why would you bring up Atlas? Why would Atlas be a thing in this? Just have Handsome Jack be the villain,
Yeah, that was weird because a lot of these corporations are just
faceless.
they're just in the background.
They're just the
literally
people who make the
just
guns, yeah.
making the guns. Yeah,
The only major villain corporation is.
I'm telling you, this
Hyperion.
movie went woke.
I mean, Atlas is a bad guy in the first game, but like, just why? Like, just
Also, has Borderlands even been relevant
No.
for a very long time?
Not since the
No.
first one.
Because I know that this movie was
Arguably the second one.
Yeah, Borderlands 1 and 2 were relevant.
this
and
movie
then
was in production as far back as 2020 during the COVID pandemic.
that was when it was like least relevant. Borderlands 3, I think, was just coming out around that
Because
time.
everybody,
That's
'cause
probably
it's
why. they
at
were
its
doing
heart,
it.
it's a co-op looter shooter.
Mhm.
And literally every other video game developer has made some form of a looter shooter that is way better than Borderlands.
Did you say looting? That's why Connor likes this.
I don't even know what that means.
Loot.
But you think of stuff like...
L-O-O-T.
Looting, because you love looting in Alien Isolation.
Anyways, because you think of stuff like the two divisions. you
Those
think
aren't
of-
better than Borderlands 2, dude.
They may not be better. They're more culturally relevant.
Continue your argument.
Okay,
Destiny.
Connor, you go in your... Well, that was going to be my next
Yeah.
example. We're the two Destinies.
Yeah,
that
I'll take Destiny. I don't think anybody played the fucking Division.
the numbers say differently, but okay.
If you-
Facts don't care about your feelings, but all right, Connor.
Yeah,
Whatever you
fair
say.
What would you guys rate this movie?
4 out of 10.
How far does the tier list go?
Oh, yeah, we go all the way. Well, have
I
we
do
ever
F.
given an F?
I don't know. I would.
We've
don't
given a
think
couple D's.
I don't think-
I remember
Yeah.
specifically the Curious Case of Benjamin one we gave D's.
I would honestly. I would give this movie a D, not an F.
I would give it an F.
It didn't offend me. It was bad, and it was not compelling. But I never played the video games, so this is just any other run-of-the-mill terrible movie.
I
in
don't
my
feel that
opinion.
way because I played the games. I feel that
Yeah.
way because it's a bad movie.
No, because like, I mean, they were listening the entire time as I was just lamenting like this
Yeah.
was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wrong, this
No,
was
no, no.
wrong.
You, by the way, I only played the first one. You played almost the entire series.
This movie,
So
though,
you're more invested in it than me.
Yeah.
this movie is a perfect example of why I think that like action movies or like at least dumb action movies are not turn your brain off films
Mhm.
because you can't turn your brain off watching it because you just
It's
just that
it's
bad.
just inconsistencies across the board.
Yeah, like there's
That's
a
just a
moment where
personal
they're
thing
like,
that I
all right,
believe."
everybody go one at a time. This metal bridge is very fragile. And then the next shot is literally 3 of them clumped together walking along the metal bridge. And I go, what the F? We literally established you cannot do that.
Guys, we gotta find 3 keys and the freaking Dot of Iridium. Don't worry, guys. The Dot of Iridium is the 3rd key. You just I'm mad. I'm so mad.
There's a
about
lot of
Stay
moments
mad.
like that in this movie where you're like, did you guys not hear yourself talk like 5
They didn't
seconds
even
ago?
use 3 keys. They used the 1 vault key. They didn't even put it together.
No, they did. They
Did
put
they have
the
a
2
sequence of-
keys together.
Okay.
You went to the bathroom.
Was that when
during
I was
scene.
pissing
Yeah.
and getting a break? Thank God.
Do we want to talk about Cadillac Desert?
Talk about what?
The book.
Cadillac Desert,
Oh.
our fan mail.
Yeah.
The fan mail we got.
we got our first fan mail. Shout out to
Shout out to
My-
James's dad.
Yeah,
for,
James's dad.
He was very disappointed with me and Connor on our takes on Chinatown. So he gave us a book that represents or talks about the importance of water in the Wild West.
You guys can get educated.
which sir, this is directly to you if you watch this episode. I don't know if you will. But
He watches our pods like 5 weeks after they come out.
All right.
So he's probably right now. He's probably watching.
He's doing Parasite.
Yeah. No, he's probably doing.
No, I
The
talked
first
to him
Fireside Chat.
yesterday. He's doing Parasite.
Oh,
He's doing
okay.
Parasite, yeah. So like 4 weeks from now, when you're finally watching this,
Yeah.
I want you to know that I'm going to read this book and I'm going to do my best to digest it as intended, so that I can use what I learned about it to more effectively shit on Chinatown.
Yeah, but you're just
You're just a hater.
yeah,
That's
you're
just
just
a
the
fact.
you're just an audience member,
Yeah. No,
and
but
that's all you'll ever be.
when it comes to Chinatown, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm okay with that.
You don't get it.
Yeah, you don't get it.
You don't get
It's
it.
kind of like how I constantly complained to Isaac about how bad Interstellar was, where like I know that I'm wrong, but at this point, it's just to make
Yeah, you're wrong.
a message. You know,
By the way, that comes out in 2 months.
I'm very excited.
10-year anniversary.
I really-
And we're going IMAX.
Yeah. It'd be a lot of fun to watch that like on the big screen and all that stuff. Cause
So excited.
Also
is a-
drunk.
No,
it-
that
it-
one I'm gonna be
yeah,
like.
that one's stone cold sober. That one I'm not gonna drink all day, so I
I'm
don't
gonna
even, like have to-
juice detox beforehand.
I'm gonna fast.
Yeah. I want to go in with no distractions.
Yeah, no impurities in my body.
That way-
at
Do
all.
like a dopamine. Yeah.
That way,
fast.
when we come back and we record the pod, I can pinpoint every exact moment where they mess up the physics of a black hole.
Except they had an actual physicist working
Well,
on the film.
physicists can be wrong.
Yeah, that's called science, Connor. This movie's 10 years old.
Science has changed. We understand a lot more than we did back then.
Anyway, follow us on Instagram.
Really short episode. Anything else we got to talk about this film?
No.
I was going to keep a track of how many inconsistencies there were between this movie and the game, and I lost track.
Like, we all went into this knowing this film was bad.
And
Yes.
it was worse than we expected.
It was 100% worse than I expected.
Yeah.
Because, like, everything I saw, it was like, it's bad. I was like, oh, this is a Reddit post. All right. I take everything Reddit says with a grain of salt because most people
Yeah.
have binary opinions. They're either like, this is the worst thing in the world or this is the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
And they very rarely see in between, right?
Yeah.
So people are like, this is bad. I'm like, it's probably going to be like just your average video game movie. I'm like, I'm going to watch it. It's going to be inconsistent, but like, it'll be whatever.
It's going to be like the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or like one of the Final Fantasy movies. You're like, this is a piece of shit, but like, it's fun. This wasn't even fun.
Like Tomb Raider
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Legend of Chun-Li.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't even fun.
Oh, I still argue Tomb Raider, that first one with Angelina Jolie, is really good, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, we know why you
Why do
argue
you say that, Isaac?
Because it's a good movie.
Finish making your point, Connor.
It captures the essence of Tomb Raider very well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, her boobs.
That was about to be my point. Is that the best
Like
part
I said,
of
it captures the essence of Tomb Raider very well.
the only good part of this film was Jamie Lee Curtis's.
Okay.
But like,
All right, you're done. You're done.
We're
All
gonna
right,
censor that.
We have
I'll censor it.
Alien episode 10 coming up. Numero 10 on Monday. Or
correct. Have we filmed them one already?
Friday. No, we're filming that
Sometime this
in a
weekend.
couple days.
Undetermined.
Way to peel back the GM screen there, Connor. Good job.
Sorry.
Good
We
job,
talk about
Connor.
it all the time.
I just blew the lid on this entire
Yeah, I
operation.
know. We don't actually film the day before. What?
Everybody knows we don't. That's not.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we have Alien episode 10 coming up. We just did episode 9. Very spooky, very fun.
A lot of Connor yells.
A lot of
good
Connor,
times.
a lot of Connor yelling. Last week we talked about.
Video game adaptation.
Yeah.
This is really just a continuation of last week. We just wanted to keep talking about it.
And then next week, what do we do next week?
Something entirely different.
Yeah, what are we doing
have
next
not
week?
established. We should probably figure that out.
No, There Will Be Blood. We're going to show you There Will Be Blood.
Next week there will be blood. I guess.
Another Connor classic.
Another Connor watches a classic movie. You've seen No Country for Old Men, right?
No.
That'd be a good double feature.
That'd be a long double
That'd be
feature.
a long
Both of
double
those movies are 2.5 hours. They're very good movies.
feature. Yeah.
They're very much though like you're gonna ponder your existence in the universe.
I'm gonna cut that.
Hold on, before we leave, is that the greatest double feature? Barring like sequels, right? Obviously, watching like Terminator 2 back to back, great double feature. Is There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men the greatest double feature that you could possibly have
Well,
watching movies?
They're good sister films.
Right.
Right. They came out in the same year.
They
they're-
filmed in the same city.
Thematically, they're very
They're
similar
Very similar. They're directors who are very similar as well.
in style and approach. So, I mean, in terms of like, yeah, if you wanted to find two films that were different films but work perfectly together,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's the first two. Other than like, Willy Wonka and Snowpiercer, because Snowpiercer is a sequel to Willy Wonka.
Okay.
All right, hear me out.
That came out of nowhere. Yeah, it's like A Bug's Life in Incredibles.
Yeah, it's like
No, those two work out actually.
it's like Aunt Bully and the Bugs Life.
Do you subscribe to the Pixar theory, Connor?
I do.
You do?
No.
Oh.
I do like the Pixar theory. I think it's fun.
I think it's
Subscribe
fun.
to it.
I think it's fun to read about.
Can we do a fun movie next week?
Can we get out of here?
Yeah, There Will Be Blood. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, guys.
That's not a fun movie.
yeah.
We'll figure out something we're going to talk about next week, and you guys will know. All right, we're out of here. Bye.
Bye.